Next up is Samuel Henrique, and he's going to teach us a bit more about key signing and how to do it. Thanks, Samuel.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I will start by saying a few words about GPG and why we are here, just because I know we have some new people around, and this is their first key signing that they're attending. So what is your key? The key is something that you have. I mean, you have a pair of key, right? You have a public key and a private key. You keep the private to yourself, and it's something that we use as a means of identification, especially on Debian project. This is one of the users of GPG, right? This I will be scoping down these explanations for new starters. So I hope everybody created their keys and sent them on the registration, and you can confirm that by getting the list of keys that I sent on the email. Does anybody doesn't have this list of keys? So I'm assuming everybody's set by now, and that you already checked that your key is in there, and the fingerprint is correct, and the number is correct as well, and this the same as in your badge, right? So, how do we make sure that this key can't be used as a means of identification? We have this thing called Web of Trust. That is, with your own key, you can use it to sign stuff, and works more or less like a physical sign. You are using your own identification to sign something and assuring that that thing you are signing with your own identification. So what we do is we sign each other's keys. For example, I can sign Lucas' keys, and when I do that, I am saying that I know that this key belongs to Lucas, and Lucas might sign the key of another person, and then when I see the key of this other person that I didn't personally sign, I can see that Lucas already signed that key, so I have kind of like a path of trust to that key, and I can, up to some level, have some trust that that key belongs to the person that is named on the key itself. And with this, we end up with a big web of connection between the keys that is made by these signatures. Gunnar was really kind of preparing a bunch of graphs for all of the keys that is on the list. So he sent the URL on the mailing list, and is also on the talk's description. And if you click there, you can search for your key, click on the key, and then you will be able to see this, which is a graph with your key will be the black one in the middle, and all of the connections that this key have with the other keys in this list, right? So the blue ones are keys that signed my key, and the ones that are white but just with the blue, the green ones are the ones that signed my key, and the ones in blue are the ones which I signed, but the key doesn't have a signature back to mine. This can happen for a bunch of reasons. We can discuss that later. So, having the Web of Trust, we can assure a good level of authentication in the project. What if your key didn't make it to the list? We had a bunch of keys, I think was 18 lists that didn't make it to the list because I think all of them were because they weren't accessible on a public key server. Because when you create your key pair, you need to send the public one to a server, and this server will sync with a bunch of other servers. It will become a pool of servers with keys, and then anybody can retrieve your public key. And this is needed if somebody wants to sign your key, this person needs to have your public key, because they will be signing your public key. So these 18 keys didn't make it to the list. If your key is one of these, or if you didn't send your key at all, you can still participate in the key signing party. The only difference is that you won't be able to use the number that we have in the badge, and you will have to pass the full fingerprint of your key to this person. Some people like to do it like this, even by choice. And what they do is they print the fingerprint in a little piece of paper, and then they give it to you when you are exchanging signatures. So what are the next steps for this? Does everybody have the file, or I see a bunch of people with computers. I'm assuming we will have good help to check the SHA-256 checksum of the file. So I'm also assuming that everybody checked that their fingerprints are correctly on the file and in the correct number. Oh, and a quick note. You might see that in the list, some numbers are skipped. And that's because we had reserved the numbers for some keys that were registered in the system. But then we couldn't import the keys to the list because they weren't accessible on a public server. So that's fine. Don't worry if your list is missing some numbers. It should be missing about 18 numbers, if I recall correctly. So what we have to do now is we need to check that everybody has the same file with the same list of keys. Because it could happen that one of these lists is corrupted, and when you change signatures with the person, you can mark, for example, I'm going to assign the key number 20, and it could happen that on your list, the key number 20 is from somebody else. So that's why you need to do this all together. So what we will do now is I would like to ask everyone to run the SHA-256 checksum on the file, and then I'm going to ask, I know, random people to shout out the checksum, and I'm going to write it here in big letters, and we can confirm that everybody has the same file, right? Is everybody ready? Like, I don't know, do we have a volunteer to say the first 4 letters and numbers of the hash? Jonas. You don't need the mic because I can repeat here while I type.
I need, thank you. 612859DC.
612895. Hold on. 6128.
Do you want the ND160?
The first 4 ones, sorry. Just say the first 4 ones, yeah.
6128.
Yes. Let me just open this on Vim. Should be. So we have 5. I will repeat here, so we should be fine. 5, 5, 9, Delta Charlie. Next one, please.
712 Alpha.
712 Alpha. Next one, please. 92 Echo 4.
Alpha 9 Alpha Delta.
Alpha 9 Alpha Bravo.
Delta.
Sorry.
EA03.
Sorry, could you repeat?
EA03.
Echo Alpha 03.
Yeah.
Next one, please. 1 Charlie Foxtrot 0. Next one, please. Delta 308. Thank you. Next one. Oops. What? 3 Echo, 4 Echo? What should be here?
BB.
Bravo, Bravo, 9, 8. Next one, please.
2. C.
Sorry, 2. Charlie. Foxtrot. 3. Next one.
6.
6.
2.
2.
Dry.
Sorry.
Dry. D.
Delta.
Delta. Right. And C.
Charlie.
Sure.
Next one, please.
7594.
Sorry.
7594.
7, 5. Let's do it again.
7
7,
5
5,
9
9.
4.
4.
Yes.
Perfect. Next one. Charlie 0 Alpha 3. Next one. Sorry. Echo. 8. Echo. Delta. Perfect. 8. Alpha. Next one, please. 4, 6. Perfect. Okay, so now we should be ready to proceed with the key signing. I will just say a few words. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, in case anybody wants to. So how will this proceed now? So what we will do is you will meet with someone, and then let's say I want to sign Lucas's key again, and he will ask me to sign his key, and I will ask him for some sort of proof of identity. Because what you're doing is exactly that. You are saying that this key belongs to this person. So you need to, it's on your own judgment how you want to make sure of that. For example, for people that I know for a long time, I wouldn't need an ID. And Lucas is one of these examples. I wouldn't need an ID from him. But for people that I never met before, I would need at least a passport. And I would need to check if the passport it's fine, if the picture is okay, if it's still valid, all this kind of stuff. But it will be on your own judgment. And I think that's all. We do have time for questions. Yes. Yes, we have a few minutes more.
8 minutes until 8 minutes in total for everything.
Perfect. Oh, let me talk about the signing process itself, right? So you will check the ID of the person. Sorry, I forgot about that. You check the ID of the person, and then you mark on your list, because there is a list you can print. You can check that you already checked the identification of the person and the fingerprint, and then you can sign when you want. Usually people sign at home. They keep the paper or whatever thing they marked, the ones that they will sign, and then they sign at home, and then they send the keys over to the person or to the public server directly. Usually it's sent to the person. Not?
I know you like it, but no. Well, I'm finishing with this. I wanted to say I'm done, but it will take a couple of more minutes. I am going to add a copy of the SHA checksum I got in the index that he mentioned that I have with the maps, and I'm also adding a text version of said maps that is not so beautiful, but maybe it's probably more useful. So, well, and well, please compute the checksum by yourselves, each of you. Don't copy it.
Also, oh, sorry. I would like to suggest you to not only check the fingerprint of your key as it appears on the list, but also as it appears on your badge, front and
exactly.
back.
Yes.
Because you cannot trust, I mean, I hope that our organizing team is not trying to trick us, but in line of principle, you should be responsible for checking yourself the information you give others about your key.
That's correct. Make sure your key is correct on your badge also.
Okay. I am one of the old people here, I think, and I still remember when I was not one of the old people here. And my point of this is, if any of you are confused about any of this thing that just happened here the last 30 minutes, then don't worry. Grab someone who is older than you and ask them just ask them politely if they can take 5 minutes to do slowly. Just that the very important thing here is that don't do anything with this crypto stuff that you don't understand. So it's better to not sign than to sign because everybody else does it. Don't just pass on or do whatever the other does. Don't copy what others do. The important thing here is that you do what you feel comfortable understanding that what is happening here. And there are a lot of people who have spent years trying to understand this, and now that we do, a few of us, maybe hopefully more, we are happy to share our epiphany of what is this weird thing. So please ask for repetition. It's not embarrassing at all. It's good.
Also, I don't know if it was mentioned, but you can use the CAF package to sign the keys from the signing party package.
It is. What do you mean? Sorry. No, it's not published. Yeah. No. But yeah, Hugo is right. You can use CAF to easily sign a bunch of signatures, and it will automatically send the signed keys to the holder of the keys, to the email that is recorded on the key. Yeah.
So
what do you mean? Sorry.
So to summarize what was just said to all of people, because I guess people who were not using stuff and haven't yet signed anything might feel confused. So basically, I would advise everybody, especially those people who haven't signed anything, not to sign anything at the conference. Just make notes, go home, get some sleep, wash your clothes, and then sit down quietly and sign your keys. And there is package called CAF, C-A-F-F in Debian, and then you give it a list of IDs of keys that you want to sign. Then it prints all the information, so you should check it once again that all emails are matching, all signature, all checksums are matching, and so on. And then it asks you again if you want to sign this particular key, then okay, and then it sends, it doesn't upload those signatures to key servers, but it sends it to appropriate emails. And then this person whose keys is supposed to be, then this person is responsible to get this key and integrate this into his or her keyring, and then upload this. So this is secondary check, because this way you are checking that email is working and emails really belongs to this person, because then SAF also encrypts your signature with public key of this person. So it sounds a bit complex. So read it again, as I said, at home, in quietness, and so on, and then be careful. And another remark after Jonas. So different people have slightly different approaches to signing. Some people are more eager to sign you. Some people are not less eager. So don't be discouraged, and don't and accept that different people use different approaches.
Okay, question in the spirit of asking about things you don't understand. There's been a few posts on Planet Debian and stuff recently about weird problems going on in the key server network. Can anyone care to quickly explain what that's about for people who don't really understand it like me? And specifically, if that should make us in the room perhaps start doing anything differently with regard to GPG and all that stuff?
The problem with the key server network is that it accepts an upload of anybody's key by anybody else. So that means you can add signatures to somebody else's key, and the key server network will nicely add those signatures into its stored version of that key. Now, these signatures can be malicious. They can be 10,000s of random crap. And this then bogs down the key a lot, so that typical uses of the key, like using that Thunderbird add-on to see whether an email was genuinely signed, basically breaks, because Thunderbird tries for 30 minutes to verify that email with that broken key, which you got via the last automatic scheduled, thank you very much GPG for that, update of that key from the key server. So the cryptography is not broken. GPG is completely broken, but from a user interface perspective, not from a technical perspective. And that hasn't changed at all. The problem is just that there's now more pressure to move to something else. And DSA has done two things for Debian developers. The one thing is called WKD, that's Web Key Discovery Protocol, It actually means you throw your key onto a web server, and it can be downloaded and in the next iteration of GPG, which has just been released a week ago, also updated from this web server, and that web server is run for all DDs by DSA. So in case you're a DD with a key in the key ring, that is already available via WKD. And the other thing is a similar protocol based on DNS. So there's a DNS entry now, which is called DANE, D-A-N-E, or based on the DANE protocol. And so your key now becomes discoverable via DNS as well. So there are two parallel ways which would not rely on the key server network anymore. But still, I think somebody needs to fix the key server network, and I've written a blog post on it. So.
What should we do with the signatures we get emails about?
There's no risk for you, except that somebody pollutes your key on the key server network, because that somebody is having fun with that key server network. If you receive such a fake signature, yes, your GPG will try for an hour to import it, and depending on how much patience you have, it will either achieve that and you can delete them later, or you just press Control-C and nothing has happened. If you care much about your public key rings, so all the signatures you've collected from some people, you know, have a backup. That's good practice anyways, because restoring from that may be easier than cleaning the key. Cleaning the key takes, depending on what the PC you have and how many signatures we're talking, 30 minutes to 2 hours.
Like Thomas mentioned before shortly, different people have different approaches to key signing. You're not obliged to sign the key of anyone. So apply your own policy of whom you want to sign. Don't feel pressured to sign anyone's key. There are some people sending out regular mails. You haven't signed my key yet. Rather refrain from that. Some people take more time to sign keys. Some people just don't want to sign some people's keys, which is also fine. So, yeah.
We're out of time. Okay.
The CAFF program, which is indeed very useful and everybody should use it, is located in the signing party package, not in a CAFF package, which doesn't exist.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Samuel, for a very useful conversation, and thank you everyone for contributing.